Hey everyone, Connor here from Kamerastore.com, joined as usual by Nico for another round of our Q&A. We've gathered some questions from YouTube and Instagram, so we're going to answer those. If you have any questions that come up about our store, film, cameras, repair, life here in Finland,
Or Norway.
or no, Finland, we don't know about Norway. Leave them in the comments below, and maybe we'll answer them next week. I mean, maybe you know about Norway. But
I mean, you're American, I'm Spanish. They could also ask about America and Spain.
yeah,
Film
you
photography
can
in
ask
the US.
questions about the United States or Spain if you want. All right, let's get to the scripted part.
First question sounds like it's Spanish. Juan Garcia. Non-camera questions. So you see, they also asking non-camera questions. Who makes the camera case shelving behind you? Looks beautifully made.
They are beautifully made. They're I guess local to our area. The company is called Boknäs. It's Swedish. I don't know if I said it right. I did my best. We can put a link in the description, I guess, if you want to buy them. I don't know if they ship internationally or not, but yeah, they're really nicely made. We used to have, or we still do have a ton of them in our kiosk showroom-ish area, and we took 2 here to make or 3 to make a background for our videos.
Yeah. They are modular, so you can kind of remove every module and they click into each other. They're pretty nice. I wouldn't say they're amazing, but they're pretty okay.
No.
As a carpenter myself. Okay, next question. Lucas Rockenschnaub. Going to Norway, any recommendations for dealing with film cameras in the cold?
Well, we do have a pretty nice article video combo where we talk about just this. It gets pretty cold here, just like in Norway. So we have a lot of tips. I think one of the biggest ones was to put your camera in your bag when you're leaving the cold. That way, the shift from cold to warm doesn't cause condensation to build up inside the camera and lens. That's something that can be an issue. Obviously, using a repaired camera is better than a non-repaired one. The cold will bring out any issues that are inside the camera, even if you don't notice them in normal use.
Or batteries.
Yeah. Battery, cameras with batteries, the batteries sometimes don't work. So use fresh batteries if you have them.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of cameras have the battery packs that you hold in your coat to keep them warm.
Yeah, the Mju-II have it. The Pentax 6x7 has. Yeah.
The rangefinder?
Yeah. Huh. They have a little, it's like a little backpack with a cable, kind of like a lav mic with a cable. You basically just put it in the camera, put it in your pocket, and keep it toasty.
I figured they'd have something like that for the RZ, but the 7 was...
Actually, not for the RZ, as far as I know. It's the Mju-II, and I think the Pentax 6x7 for sure have it. But yeah, you just got to be careful with the cold. Obviously, if you have a camera that works normally, it's weird to see a huge problem with the cold unless you're going really, really cold. And then use mechanical cameras, hopefully that are serviced recently. Maybe even possible to have it serviced for the cold. They sometimes remove some of the lubrication and lubricants and greases so it doesn't freeze, because lubricants will become kind of buttery. Our mechanic here that does Leica lenses sometimes adjust them a little bit more in the loosey-goosey way with the helicoidal lenses, because when they're in the cold, then they feel okay.
Yeah, they start to freeze up. Yeah.
So there are considerations if you're going high, like into the finicky part of that, but usually you'll be fine. But we have an article, we'll link it below. Tuomas will link it below and up above and everywhere. Next question, Johan Mainendox. I don't know what that. I cannot find a single professional resource about fixing light leaks in a Mju-II. Is it possible?
I have to commend you on your learning how to say the Mju-II appropriatly.
I say it right now?
Yeah, you didn't even notice.
No? What did I say, Mju?
Used to say Mju.
Mju is, okay, yeah whatever. Professionally resource about fixing light leaks in a Mju-II.
So, when we're talking about light leaks in the Mju-II, we're talking about light leaks that come from around the lens barrel, rather than actual light seals around the edge of the camera body. So to actually fix that would be basically replacing that entire lens assembly. The cost and knowledge required to do that is pretty high, likely higher than buying a new camera. And then there's also the chance that basically it just doesn't work. you need certain softwares to initialize new parts when you install them, and those softwares are not available to anybody, not even us. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and another thing that's happened here many times is new old stock spare parts, be it from a donor or be it from when they made them, are as old as the ones that you have on your camera. So you might be like, hey, I found the light seals original replacement part, bought them on eBay. I'm not saying this part per se, but you put it in and it's just as bad as the one you had before
Yeah.
because it just was bad from age.
Mhm.
So, like Connor said, probably the best way possible is just to replace the camera. The Mju-II is prone to this, especially the zoom version. So be
Yeah.
wary of that. And it's quite easy to see because you kind of see like a bit of a circle in the light leaks.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
not seeing a circle, then it might be from the back. But if it is like kind of weirdly circled, and depending on the conditions, it probably is the lens. And it's the light seals around the lens elements and the
Yeah.
groups. So it's super cumbersome to change if you can. So I agree with what you just mentioned. Okay. Next question. Oh, you have anything else?
No, it's good that you agree with me. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I'm trying to agree with more people. Colin Cornell. Do you sell or repair Widelux cameras?
Sell, yes, when they come in. That's sort of how it works with everything on the site, is that we only have it if people sell it to us. We can't, conjure Wideluxes out of thin air. We buy them. Yeah, not yet. We're working on it. We buy them when people sell them to us. Repairing them, I've heard, is quite difficult. They don't repair in the same way a focal plane shutter would. It requires some pretty precise knowledge, and they can't be tested the same way that we test stuff. So I don't think that we dedicate time to repairing them at this point.
And we have a full article and video about the Horizon camera. We did a fun video shooting it and explaining problems that happen with it. And this camera basically is the same kind of barrel, panoramic camera. Like Connor said, we don't sell them unless we buy them, obviously. And repairs, we can do minimal service to it, but like a major repairs, we don't. If we had donors and spare parts, we could, but we don't have a lot of these. They're not that popular.
Yeah.
But
Just
yeah,
aren't that many out there.
right now we cross our fingers that the Widelux project comes to an end and we have a camera we can sell or
Yeah,
buy
that'd be
or
really cool.
repair. But for now, that's all we can say. Next question.
We can link our article in the
Oh,
description.
we are
so
gonna.
many links.
Olympus is gonna link the article and the video here, there, and everywhere. Core Hal, what are your thoughts on amateur repairs without proper training tools or calibration devices?
Well, know what you're getting into. Basically, I wouldn't go into a repair without any knowledge if you don't expect to break it. So go into it with something that you don't mind never using again. And then, then it's an experience of learning to disassemble things, learning screwdriver skills, and what things look like on the inside. I mean, that's good experience for the most part. Just, you won't be able to actually fix anything.
Well,
Because you have no way of knowing that you actually fixed it.
I mean, you can do certain things. I do think I agree with the principle that like just get ready to break it.
Yeah.
I break 1, 2, 3, 17 of them. It's like if I got into my engine in my car, like I can try with no guidance and no help, and I can, calibrate my engine with my eyes and my ears and my nose. But will my engine run efficiently? Will the alarms on the engine keep beeping?
Yeah.
Probably. Would I sell that car to someone to drive safely? No, I wouldn't. Would I use that car safely? No. Same with a camera. Putting Hasselblad, opening it is not that complicated. The complicated part is putting it together and making sure it works.
Mm-hmm.
We see our mechanics doing the cocking angle, mirror level thing. We see them with the focusing screen calibration, the lens and the shutter and the slow speeds, the everything. Like it's so many things that can go wrong. The more modular the camera, the more complicated it is because they all have to talk to each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, our thoughts are, if you're willing to make mistakes and break things, go ahead. Nobody's going to stop you. Start, if you can, with cheaper stuff just for the sake of learning some things. But don't expect that this part of the amateur repairs will grant you, like, one day I'll talk to a proper mechanic and then I'll be like, hey, I broke 150 cameras at home and now I'm ready. Like, it probably will be the other way around. They'll be like, yeah, don't come. close. It's easier almost to teach someone that hasn't really done camera repairs.
Yeah, I mean, that's the sentiment that I've gotten from some of the mechanics is that a lot of people who do a lot of tinkering at home build up some maybe not so good habits that they have to then unlearn to start learning the right things
With cameras.
with cameras.
But I think
And in life.
if you've tinkered
You
with
bite your
things,
nails.
it helps. But if you I've talked to Tony, one of our mechanics that's been here on the Q&A, like you can tell when somebody's held the screwdriver, used the hammer, kind of that stuff.
Yeah.
So those basic skills, like hand motor skills, are important. The know-how exactly what it is not that important. Today you just listed a Hasselblad that's being done by one of our technician school students that became mechanic, and she has trained to do Hasselblads, and it's her first full Hasselblad. When she came here, she barely could recognize a Hasselblad from a Rolleiflex. And I'm saying this out of my own understanding. I might be wrong. But now she's doing Hasselblad service. Why? She was kind of like new to all the concept and got all the skills and, learned.
Soaked it up.
Yep. So maybe if you don't mind breaking things and don't really care about the future of it, fine. If you want to learn properly, then try to find someone that will teach you. But it's not easy. Okay, next question. Julian Peltz. Where can I source service manuals?
If we had a consistent source, we would probably have more of them. I think that's something that we normally get when other stores close. They're not something that just they're out there and people are printing new ones. It would come from the same kind of place where we would get testing equipment and tons of donor parts and spares and that kind of thing. And they don't come up very often. So what I would do is look for stores that have just closed or maybe look like they're about to close and just like get in touch with the people that own them. Because, a store closes, the stuff doesn't just disappear. It has to go somewhere.
Yeah, and I would say don't think that the service manuals are going to help you tremendously.
Yeah,
they were made in a time where there was professional service stations. Like you would send your camera to get service. There was parts that would be like, hey, just pull this whole, like Mamiya is known to make pull it out, put another part in. As we are in the day and age you will pull it out and then there's nothing to put in. So I've heard the same Tony say, the service manuals are great and dandy when you had spare parts, but now there's no spares. So you kind of have to sometimes either make the spares or try to get them from donors. Like I said, some of the donors have the same issue. So don't think that the service manual would really help you like unlock a know-how that you wouldn't find yourself by tinkering. So it's not that useful. I know Tony, for example, has made his own service manual for the RB with his tricks and tips from where we are in time. Those obviously we are not releasing or selling or doing anything like that. They're inside know-how. But yeah, I would say, like Connor recommended, you can talk to shops. Maybe they have them. And I also would recommend maybe they're not that useful for you unless you really know what you're trying to look for.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's like you can disassemble everything and reassemble everything so that it matches all the pictures in the service manual, but you still have really no way of knowing if you actually fixed anything.
Yeah.
You might free a mechanism, but then how do you know the shutter's right? How do you know the aperture's right? How do you know the focusing screen on your Hasselblad is at the right height and the right angle?
Yep.
Lots of stuff that doesn't teach you.
Yeah. We have the next question. Kyle Hufford. Is the price of used cameras so high because of demand, or is it artificial inflation? We destroy them, so the prices go up.
Yeah.
We buy these cameras, we broke them, so the prices
On
are
purpose.
Go up. Yeah.
It's demand. I mean, I put on our site probably 10 kits this morning. It's like 1:30 in the afternoon right now. Half of them are already sold. 25% of them maybe. Already sold. And that's like, we're not selling them to us. We're not making up these things. That's how demand works. If we keep selling out of them, we can raise the price a little bit and people will still buy them. And that's, if people are willing to pay a certain price for a certain camera, that's the market deciding the price, not us. And it really is something that, like, as somebody who prices the products, like, sometimes it's surprising how fast things sell and that we do have to raise the price or that we can raise the price and people will still pay it. I mean, we've been saying it about the Mju-II because that's like a joke in the community about how expensive it's gotten. every single time the price goes up, even 10 euros, we see it. It's like a surprise, but they still sell in a week. Still, we can't keep them on the website.
It's a demand. We've had, like, in the past 12 months, we've had prices that have actually gone down. We've noticed that hypes go down and certain cameras are not moving fast enough. And we have tools online for our own work to make sure what the trend of the price is. Is it going up? Is it going down? Nowadays, it's not artificially inflated. I mean, there's content creators, there's people on social media making stuff that will make more people look at it. And because the supply of film cameras is basically set at whatever is in the market at the moment, there's no new, and it's diminishing every day. The prices can only go one way, which is up. The moment people move to a different model, like, oh, the Mamiya 7 is not interesting anymore, it's too high, they go to the alternative, the Mamiya 7 Killer. And then the Mamiya 7 Killer goes up, and then the Mamiya 7 might go down. And it's like, we basically are playing with the stock market here.
Yeah.
And it's what it is. We don't push them up on purpose. We push them up because sometimes we want to have a few in the shop so people can shop them. And we're not going crazy, like tripling prices. We think that we price because we test them, we clean them, we repair them when needed, and we have customer service and warranty to a certain level of items. So that's where we price our items. If we didn't test them, we could lower the price. If we didn't repair them, we could lower the price. If we didn't give customer service, we could lower the price.
Or if they don't sell.
Or if they don't sell.
That's one of the biggest things. I mean, like I said, the Mju-II just keeps climbing up and up and up. But Canon A-series cameras, like the AE1 and AE1 program, did have a little bit of a bubble. They got really expensive, and then we just weren't selling very many. So we lowered the price, and now they're selling again. And that's, how the market works. Sort of like if we're more reactive in that way, I guess, or reactive on a shorter scale. If something doesn't sell, we want to sell it, so we'll lower the price.
Yeah, there's pricing teams, and in our case, we are a lot of people. We have a few people checking prices, but every other big company that does this has pricing teams that just check the trends and adjust prices depending on demand.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah.
This is the end of our first part of the Q&A from this week. We got too many questions, which is a good thing. So if you have questions, leave them below in the comments or follow us on Instagram at Kamerastore.com, and we'll post Q&As every so often so that you can submit questions there. And then we'll answer them here. So yeah, we will see you in the next episode. I've been Connor, here with Nico. Thanks for watching.
Bye.